Hello, hello. Michelle Perta here, life and marriage coach for moms. Today I want to talk to you about something that has been coming up with every single client that I want to share with you because this is the number one thing that I notice across the board that after they learn it, it just shifts everything. And so I wanted to come on here and share it with you. But in the meantime, I wanted to remind you that my waitlist for Embrace is open. And the waitlist will get you first dibs on joining my 12-week group program that I'll be releasing to the waitlisters next Tuesday. And not only that, but you also get money off and a complimentary bonus session if you're the first of 6 people who enroll into the program. I am capping it at 10 because it's really important to me for all the people that join to get the support that they need. And so I'm going to get started now. So the one thing I will share in a bit, but let me give you some context. So when you are struggling with something in your relationship, right? When communication feels really hard and you tend to go into that mode of I'm pissed off. And whether that looks like hiding or lashing out or giving the silent treatment or getting really emotional. The narrative that tends to turn on within us is typically, why is this happening to me? Why did they do this to me? Why is this happening? I really don't like this. I need this to change. You need to know how upset I am. Me, 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 me. So the narrative is often centered around your singular experience. And that makes sense, right? Because you only know your experience, you're going through it, and they don't. But the one thing that gets forgotten is that you are not the only person in the experience. And so the number one thing that my clients have now woken up to, adopted, whatever, that has really shifted their communication for the better is being compassionate. So what does that look like, right? Because being compassionate can mean being compassionate towards yourself. It can also mean being compassionate towards your partner. Okay, so I'm talking about the latter today. So what does being compassionate look like? It looks like assuming positive intent. What does that mean? It means not jumping to the conclusion that your partner did whatever they did or didn't do whatever they didn't do on purpose. That they had a reason for why they forgot or why they chose to do whatever they did, and that they were doing what they could with what they knew and what they were available for. Okay? We're all human, so we're not on 100% of the time. Sometimes we're tired, sometimes we're stressed, sometimes we're hungry, sometimes we're just at our wits' end. And so to put the pressure on our partners to be perfect, to not make mistakes, to not have slip-ups, to not forget things, to not know the right words to say all the time, creates issues. So by assuming positive intent, you're opening up to the possibility of, I wonder why they did that, or I wonder why they didn't do that. You're opening up to, I wonder what led them to do or not do that thing. What's their experience like? Instead of focusing on, I'm pissed and I need you to know and I need you to fix it, right? And you did this with the intent of pissing me off. Rarely ever is that the situation if you're in a relationship where you two truly love each other. You're not out to get him or her, your partner, and they're also not out to get you. So what could the possible reasons be that they did or didn't do what they did or didn't do? So open up to curiosity and really leaning into what led them to choose that, rather than how could they do that to me? How could they talk to me that way? How could they forget something so important? And then take on that role of being a victim, which is very disempowering. Rarely ever does someone do something to you. That's just the narrative that we play in our minds. Oftentimes it's just they're doing something and it happens to impact us. And we take things so personally. That's where the drama gets created, right? Because we're reminded of, oh, in the past, I felt this way before. I didn't get what I needed. Or in the past, my parents used to talk to me like that. Or in the past, it reminds me of a time where I felt wronged or not good enough, unloved, unseen, unheard, unsupported, whatever. And we kind of take that baggage into our relationship anytime situations remind us of that. Hi, Adrian. And that's simply not fair. That's simply not fair. And so the one shift I want you to take from this is anytime something wrong happens, don't jump to, why did they do that to me? I want you to put on your curiosity and wonder, what led them to do that? That's how you show compassion towards your partner, because you're not just outright assuming they screwed me over with the intent of being manipulative, of being evil, of causing drama. Like, you know what causes drama? If they're actually trying to hurt you. But most times they're not trying to hurt you. They're simply doing what they feel they should be doing with the knowledge that they have, with the capacity that they have, right? Like, for example, you could be, let me see, let's come up with an example here. I just blanked out. Let's say, okay, so when I go grocery shopping, right? Like, I love when my husband comes to the door and gets the groceries, because like my part in it was like I went shopping and I got all the things, I meal planned and whatnot. But I genuinely feel supported when I feel like when I let him know I'm on my way home and he hears the car pull up, he comes out to help bring the groceries in so that I don't have to do all of it. Okay? Now, let's say that's the norm. And one day, he doesn't. So the first thing that comes to mind, right, would be like, the hell? Where is he? This is what we do. Why isn't he doing it? And it could be very easily turned into, he doesn't care about me. Look at how much I do. And he doesn't really appreciate what I do. And how come I have to do everything? Like a very common phrase that we often jump to as women. I know I adopted that from my mom because she's not one who regularly asks for help, right? She takes on the typical like martyr role where she's like, oh, I'll just do everything. I'll do everything. I don't need help. And then all of a sudden she's resentful. How come nobody helps me? I do everything. Okay. So that's the narrative that I adopted. And so it's very natural for me to jump to that conclusion. But because of the work that I've been doing, because of self-mastery, which is a piece that I teach within my program, Embrace, I now actively consider, I wonder why he's not here. Because I'm sure it's not like he suddenly decided, fuck it, I don't want to help her anymore. I want her to be mad at me. Like who actively decides that they want their partner to be mad at them? Nobody wants that kind of drama, right? Everybody wants things to go smoothly, to be enjoyable, for the home to feel harmonious and yada, 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 right? So getting curious, like, I wonder why. There's always a reason why, right? He's either doing something, he didn't hear the car come in, etc., etc., etc. So that's just one minor example. But look at what that shifts for me, right? I go from thinking and feeling that he's an awful partner, he doesn't appreciate me, and I'm feeling resentful and frustrated and unsupported, to, oh, okay, that's why. I get it. Okay, I can either bring it to his attention like, oh, hey, I'm home. Can you grab the rest? Or I can be like, oh, it's not a good time for him. I will just bring it in. Do you notice the difference here, right? One's like, woe is me. I don't like my partnership. To, oh, I can extend some grace and compassion because he's not helping me. It's just that he is tending to something else right now. Okay? And this can span with all arguments, right? Being able to assume positive intent also means it brings space for clarity, for confusion and assumptions to be cleared up. Communication's a funny thing, right? Because the way we communicate isn't always the way our partners receive what we're communicating, right? It's kind of like playing the game of telephone. Until you really understand how your partner communicates, and even then you won't get to 100%, some things can be misconstrued. You can go from saying like something as simple as oh, my favorite question. What's for dinner? I fucking hate that question. That's a very simple question to ask, right? For anyone, what's for dinner? Harmless, right? But for some people, it could be like, I know you didn't just ask me what's for dinner, because then there's like those loaded connotations that comes along with it, like where's food? I don't need help. Can you just tell me? Or I view you as the cook or the help, right? Yes, Katie says I hate figuring out dinner. Totally. Okay. But as you can see, like the message that was being shared wasn't the message that was coming across, right? The simple inquiry of what's for dinner then turned out to be like, hey, maid, when's food gonna be on the table? Or I'm hungry, can you chop? Like, let's go. I'm like, where's my food? Okay? That's how our minds work, right? Our past experiences, our personality, what we learned growing up, it all comes into play as our filter. And so what you share could make sense to you, right? But when your partner's receiving that message, it's like, okay, words, what do those words mean to me? What do those phrases mean to me? In what ways have they been used in my past? And how am I interpreting that? Tone, right? For me, I personally, when I'm upset, I can get like an attitude and I have no clue I'm doing it. No clue. Not even trying. It just comes out, right? Body language is a huge one. And so assuming positive intent means, hey, I love this person. I know that they're not trying to hurt me. And so if I feel like I'm being attacked or being criticized or like I'm getting hurt, I'm going to question it. I'm going to ask, I don't think that's what they meant. Let me clear that up. Right? Assuming that they're not out to get you. I hope they're not out to get you, because otherwise, why the hell are you married to them, right? That's not the kind of relationship that you want. So give the benefit of the doubt. Ask questions if you're like, that doesn't seem like something that they would normally do or say, or that doesn't seem like something that, they don't want to hurt me. They love me, which is hard to remember when we're in a fight, right? But when you realize that's what's going on within you, and you realize the narrative that's being played in your mind, ask, what did you mean by that? Or even using the phrase, hey, when you said this, I heard this. Is that what you meant for me to hear? That's a very specific example of how to assume positive intent in one way of doing so. Okay, so try and take that on, see what it does for your communication, see what it does for your relationship, and let me know in the comments how you are resonating with this. What are you taking away from this? How do you think things will change if you do this? Okay, and if you are loving this and you're like, gosh, I want to learn more. I want to learn more about how to create the marriage, the partnership that I deserve and desire. I want to have a relationship that will stand the test of time, even as I go through motherhood, right? Because the common misconception that we assume is once we become moms, our relationships get put on hold until the kids become more independent and we have more convenient time to dedicate towards it. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to wait, okay? And so in my 12-week group program, Embrace, which I am opening up very soon to the public, but if you want to get in earlier, sign up for my waitlist, link in the bio. It's all about doing that. It's about understanding yourself, which I call self-mastery. It's about elevating your communication so you can be a communication ninja and be able to navigate the different conversations and how to maintain yourself while staying in integrity and respecting yourself, but also respecting your partner. And be able to take the conflict and grow from it rather than use it as further evidence that you two have it hard or that marriage is hard or any of that garbage, okay? And also be able to nurture your relationship so that your partnership can grow and grow and grow and grow. So that when it comes time to be on your own, let's say the kids are moved out, you're not looking at each other like you're strangers, but rather, hey, we've been connected all this time and it's grown with our family. And when they're moved out, you're not going to be like, who is this stranger? I don't even know how to talk to you, because all we talk about were responsibilities and logistics. Or I don't even know how to hang out with you because our kids were our buffers. I don't want that for you. Okay? So, sign up for the wait list. You get first dibs on signing up. There's only 10 spaces available. Waitlist closes on Monday. Okay? And you get money off. And also the opportunity to receive a complimentary bonus one-on-one session, all for just being part of the waitlist. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments how much you loved this, and feel free to share this as well. I'll be posting this on my IGTV. And that's all I got for you. All right, bye everyone.